When I first started walking according to the commands of the Torah, someone said to me, well, let's just not get too far out there. Caution, caution, and caution. Exactly how zealous should we be in following after Yah and his commands? Highsbury Fellowship Timid Torah, day number 1 of the Torah portion, Pinchas. Let's go to Numbers, to Bamidbar, chapter number 25. Verse number 10 says, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Pinchas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor, or in my zeal, or in my passion. So I made the decision, Laura and I made the decision, that after learning more about what the Word said and insights that were revealed to us both by fellow peers and also through the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, we realized we got to make some lifestyle changes. And there are some things that we will cease to engage in, and there are some things that we will begin to engage in. For example, trading Sunday morning worship for Shabbat. Now, if you're still, or if you practice Sunday morning worship, this is not a stone thrown at you, by no means. But we learned, even while we were still pastoring a church, leading worship, leading a congregation every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, still conducting revival meetings with folks. There was a need for us to engage in observing Shabbat. So in addition to everything else, Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown, we set ourselves apart to Shabbat. We had a meal, we had a day of rest, a day of study, a day of prayer. And then at sundown, we began to engage in our normal activity. This was kind of kept as a secret for a while. And slowly it began to leak out here and there among others that this is what we were doing. And we encouraged them, why don't you give it a shot? We became passionate about Shabbat, while others cautioned, well, you're going back into legalism and you're going to give yourself problems, and this is not necessary. That's all been done away with. Let's not just get too far out there. Zeal for truth, zeal for doing things according to the Word, zeal and passion for Yah is a very powerful and consuming thing. And it can be something to really promote us down the road. It can also lead us astray and help us to find ourselves out in the weeds somewhere. Consider Pinchas. Pinchas, Yah says, acted correctly. What has he done? Zimri and Cosby. Zimri, a man of the tribe of Shimeon, has brought Cosby, a princess of Midian, into the camp, and he has been bowing down at Baal Peor. He has fashioned a relationship with this woman. He has flaunted her. He's not hiding his activity. He is flaunting his right and privilege in his mindset of having this Midianite woman, brings her into the camp, and begins to engage in relations with her. Pinchas grabs a spear, follows them into the tent, and slays both of them. Now, the details are not really something I'm going to go into. That's more of a private conversation. However, it takes place, whatever the circumstance, two people are suddenly dead. And Pinchas emerges from the tent, having slain two people. And I'm sure that the crowd was aghast. They were maybe their eyes wide open and wondering, has it come to this? Meanwhile, there is a plague that has broke out in the camp. And before it's over, 24,000 people are going to die. So is Yah upset? Is there a problem with what's going on? Yes, there is. There is a huge problem. And Pinchas, in his zeal, has taken care of it. And when he does, the plague stops. Now, let's consider this. It says here some information that we would normally read right over and not pay attention to. Pay attention to the details. He is the son of Eleazar, who is now the high priest. He is the grandson of Aaron. He comes from a very distinguished, exalted lineage. Eleazar, according to Exodus chapter 6 and verse 25, Eleazar married a daughter of Putiel, who is also known as Yitro, who is also a Midianite. So Pinchas's mother was a Midianite, a cousin to Israel, but nevertheless outside the covenant until she married in and evidently converted. His father is a Levite, so he is of a mixed race. His name suggests the idea of dark-skinned. So let's understand this. He is going against two lineages that he is identified with to put a stop to this. Cosby, the Midianite, is from his mother's people. Zimri, a Shimeonite, is from Israel, a fellow Hebrew and of his father's people. But he's not seeing that at the moment. What he is seeing is flagrant, flaunted sin in the eyes not only of Moshe and of the elders of Israel and the camp of Israel, but in the eyes of Yah. His zeal and passion for Yah and for righteousness consumes him to the place where he moves to put a stop to this. Yeshua said this in the book of Luke, chapter number 14. He says in verse 26, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters and his own life too, he is unable to be my taught one. And whoever does not bear his stake and come after me is unable to be my taught one. And then he gives instructions about counting the cost. Zeal and passion, fervor, a drive, an urging within us when it comes to promoting righteousness, when we're seeking to set apart the name of the Most High, when it's about protecting and guarding the people of Israel, the covenant body of Messiah, there is room for that. Not advocating violence, not advocating that you take up weapons and go start slaying people who you think are outside your perceived lines. That's not righteous, and that's not right. But certainly praying, fervently exhorting, encouraging people to walk uprightly, setting a righteous example yourself, understanding this is not about me. Yeshua was saying, if you don't love me more than you love everyone else, even yourself, ultimately you will fail in walking with me, because someone else will cause you not to get too far out there and will caution you to the place where you'll fail to walk with me. Love Yeshua, love him first, love him with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your being, and walk righteously. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, shalom.